Welcome everyone in this live development video about building an auto battle game. In this video we're going to fix up our actor puller. So I've done some research on the project, and I think the problems if you are not aware of the problems I'm talking about, that's the issue where units are failing to spawn on the clients. So for instance, if we put down a lot of units there everywhere, at some point it fails to spawn them on the client, and I think I understand why. That's because we are using a rep notify variable to load units, which is their name, their unit row, and since the server only replicates units, only replicates variables that have the same name that have a different value than before. If we are using the same unit, the same pooled units for the same name, it won't be loading them on other machines, since there are no changes in the variable. It won't be loading them, so this will not fire the rep notify name. So I think the easy way to fix this is the same way we've done with the battlefield, is to multicast the name of the unit. But I think that's kinda silly, because we're gonna multicast a lot of times instead of just once for all units that must be broadcasted. So another correct way to do that could be, we can try something else. We can try doing something like, when a unit gets set unit state, when the unit gets pulled, we're gonna set its name to none, like this. And when the unit is notified of a change, if the name is not equal none, we're gonna go ahead and tell the unit it's static. And we're gonna try only with 2 players, else we're gonna go crazy. And we're gonna reduce the amount of units in the pool. Combat unit, there are only 10 combat units. And we're gonna try using only the same units to trigger the bug faster. And maybe we don't have the bug anymore because we fixed it with that non-variable. So apparently we fixed the bug. We're gonna try by not resetting the name. We'll just unplug with what we've just done, just to see if we have the bug with the same. Do we have? Yeah, we do have some warriors there, and we have a wolf rider. So yeah, we don't have the units there, but if we do this, we're gonna have the units all the time. Yep, we have units all the time. And there's another bug we need to fix, is the fact that we're using a timer to start unit AI, and the timer is not being shut down when we end the recruit phase. It basically should never happen, but since we're using the key plus, so this event in the await unit ready function, we're starting that event. So we need to shut it down when we change the phase. So this is launch AI timer, and we're going to shut that down when we change the phase. Go to phase, recruit phase. When are we? At some point we are actually clearing the combat phase. We'll just say that this is gonna be cleared and invalidated, and that way we'll never see units fighting before the 2 seconds delay. And we'll also move that 2 seconds delay into a variable, because we don't want to find that function every time we want to change that value. So this might be doing, yeah, this lasts for 2 seconds. We'll just double check that we never see units fighting before the 2 seconds delay. Oh, they are rotated not the way they should. Oh, and they are fighting. And they shouldn't be fighting right away. Maybe that's because are we clearing the combat phase at the right time when all units, yeah, well, it seems that we are. So apparently we didn't fix our rotation bug. If we are using units that have never been used, they're rotated improperly, and I think the AI bug comes from the same thing. If we're gonna draw units, yeah, if we're drawing units from that have already been used, they are attacking right away. This means that something is not working when it comes to disabling the behavior tree. We want 40 units in the combat pool. So what do we do when we actually shut down? So I think it's in the in-game state in here. Set unit state pooled. In the combat unit, when we pull the unit, we are actually never disabling. I think we are. I had the feeling that we've done that. We actually disabled the behavior tree of the unit when we were clearing the combat phase. So when the combat unit is brought to the pool, we want to get the brain component. We want to get our controller. We want to get its brain component. But I had the feeling we've already done that. We've already done stop logic, so I'm sure we're using that somewhere else. It seems strange. Maybe we deleted that. So only the server is going to do this, or else it's gonna return an error. We have to make them start combat, or else we'll never see the bug. I think we're not having the bug anymore. Yeah, we don't have the bug anymore, I think. And I think before, oh yeah, and we have this. So this comes from the fact that we're trying to pull some units which don't have a behavior tree yet. So if we have a brain component, we're gonna turn it off. And we don't have an AI controller as well, because why don't we have an AI controller? Because that's the beginning. At the beginning we don't have an AI controller, I guess, yet. So if we have an AI controller as well, but I think another way to do this will be to do it here, and we wouldn't have to worry about if it has been initialized or not, because I believe it's always going to be initialized here. If we do it here, we're gonna stop logic there just to see if it throws if it's throwing errors at well. No, it's not. And does it work? Yeah, so we have that bug. We still have that bug. And we have the bug here. So we're just gonna try doing what we wanted back in the unit logic, which sounds more logical anyway. In the combat unit in here, if we have an AI controller and the brain component, we're gonna shut down our AI. I wonder why it's failing to work in the game states. It should work the same way. So we still have that pesky rotation bug. And we have another bug which is sometimes when we manipulate unit at our base, it remains stuck in focus. We're stuck in the focus event of that unit, yeah, like this. As you can see, it's when I drag and drop. It's when we drag and drop that we have that bug. The unit shouldn't remain focused. That comes from the force focus we've done. And I think we can try something quite easy to fix this, is to go in our in-player controller and say that when we stop dragging, we'll stop moving unit, and we'll also unlock unit focus. Does it check for unit focus? No, it doesn't. And if we do this, I think we're never going to have that bug again. But it doesn't behave the same way it does. Yep. So I think we only need to unlock unit focus if... I think it's gonna do the same thing. If we have the locked focus, we're gonna release it. I think it's gonna do the same thing. Oh no. Oh yeah. So we went back to the bug. That's when we release the unit somewhere else then. So I guess another way to check this is stop dragging units. In here we want to get focused square. We want to check if the square we're focusing is the same than the square we stopped at. Is this different from... I'm not sure it's gonna work, but we're gonna try. No, it didn't work. Yeah, so how can we be doing this? The issue here is that when we drag, actually I just think that when we start dragging, we can say that we're no longer in focus units. Maybe it's gonna work. I'm not sure if it triggers when we start drag or when we stop drag. We can trigger the bug by reducing the move speed here. And once more. Yeah, we didn't fix our bug with this. So when we stop dragging, we're stop moving units. Final stop move, we're teleporting the units. If we don't have a focus square, we're gonna unfocus the units. And in here, I think we can maybe try something like, if the focus square is different from this, if we don't have a focus square, we're going to unfocus. I think maybe we can replace this by that. And it's gonna work. Yeah, apparently it fixed the bug. Yeah, I was dumb. I wasn't trying to trigger the bug by drag and dropping. Oh, and we can unfocus the units. So this is not something we want. So we're gonna get rid of this. So when we unhover a unit, a square, when we're actually unfocusing a square, in here, does it have a unit? Yeah, unfocus unit. If we are dragging, we can't be unfocusing the unit. We fixed several bugs here. We're kinda happy about this. We still have that one, which stops to trigger once units have been used once, units in the pool. So we're pretty happy about this. So I think it's gonna wrap up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.